just wish I had that. Why can't I have that? Well, the reality is I can. Or if I can't get it, I can spend my time being jealous about it. Or I can start looking at the fact that there are ways of overcoming jealousy, because it does happen. So let's look at it right now. First, acknowledge and accept the feelings. I am jealous. Somebody has more than me. I can't do that. Or I had the ability to do that. Why didn't I do that? The reality is it's going back towards me. So I must acknowledge and accept the feelings of, I feel jealous. This is a yucky thing inside of me and I don't want to share it with others. We know that if we share things with others, we can begin to deal with it. And I feel ashamed now that I'm jealous, but at least I'm acknowledging it and accepting the feeling. Why does this work though? Because it means that you are denying jealousy, which often makes it worse if you don't, that is, accept it. When you acknowledge though and accept it, that it is a natural emotion, the same way as I feel happy because it's a sunny day when I wake up, or I feel sad because I wanted to go for a walk today and it's not a nice day. But it's easier to process and let go once you accept it. So the very first thing is to do that. Once you've that box ticked, you can say to yourself, I'm feeling jealous right now. That's okay. I can work through it. So I have to start looking at the next steps. And the second one, or moving on, is to understand the root cause. Now, if I'm lying in my bed, wake up in the morning and I think, God, last night I saw that person and they have so much more than me. I could have had that. I had that. I'm better than that. And suddenly you go, I have to figure it out. Okay, I've accepted it. Now, why is this? Well, jealousy often points to deeper fears within us, right? And it looks at our insecurities, such as rejection, loss, or feeling inadequate. I had that, remember when I said that? And then it looks at reflecting on why you're jealous. Is it because of you doubt yourself in your life right now? If you're making unfair comparison, or a fear of losing something important, what is it? Look towards that. What is it that's in your life that you have, that you're holding tightly, and your fear of losing it? If it's a person, you can't hold a person that tightly. They must be free to flutter, to be alive. And so nobody owns anybody, even if there's a ring on the finger. So we have to be able to step away from that. Let that person be independent in their thoughts. Let them understand that maybe you're making the other person jealous, and then they have to deal with the fact that they're making them jealous. Or you can indeed, once you get to the root cause, speak to that person and open it out and say, look, it's a natural human emotion to be jealous, and I am. And I know I need to deal with that my way, but I tell you, the way you're doing that with those other people makes me feel this way. And have this conversation. You also need to practice gratitude for what you have. We often look back on things. Nostalgia is a beautiful thing. It sells a lot of things for sure. But if we look back on things and times that are lost and say to yourself, I could have done that. I had that ability to do that. But that was back then. This is now. Now, if you still have the ability, you might have a huge hill to climb, a mountain, in fact. Maybe if it's sport, you've got to get super fit, but you have the ability to do something. Or if it's music, you've got to maybe go and get musical lessons again to sharpen everything. But if you have that ability and the jealousy reawakens, a little spark in you, motivates you and goes, come on, you can do this. It's worth doing. You've only one life. Well, then be gracious for the fact that that natural emotion of jealousy has come to your door. Now, jealousy often comes from focusing on what others have and you don't. But gratitude helps you shift and distract your focus into the abundance that you have in your life. Now, if you're watching this video, it means somehow, somewhere you have like internet connection. You have a screen. These are things you have. Look at the small things first. And each day then, if you want, with regard to other things in your life, write down, say, 3 things that you're grateful for. And then this shifts the emotional feelings, that really strong feeling of jealousy towards, it flips it, towards gratitude. I'm so delighted that this is what I have. Having something is golden. This will help you. And you have the power, and lots of these can be done just through your thinking process, like lying in the bed from the night before going, what the heck happened? But if you can flick through this and go to the next part, which is reframing your thoughts, you're actually doing a kind of cognitive reappraisal. Why does this work though? Well, changing your perspective on the situation can help you see things differently and reduce jealousy. So yes, you felt this huge bomb of jealousy and it like was pushed at you and it was in front of you and you didn't ask for it and things were going well before that, but you cannot put Pandora back in the box. It's there, it's in front of you, it's out there now. Everybody's saying, oh, look at that person, they're wonderful. And you're like, but look at me. It doesn't matter. You need to flip and reframe. So instead of thinking they have something I don't, or like try thinking their success or happiness doesn't take away from my own potential. And that's a golden word, potential. Because if people are looking at them and going, aren't they incredible? Well, they might be saying, well, look at their past, look at where they came from, look at their limitations, look at what hand was dealt to them. And if you did that, but you didn't, because you didn't have the same starting point, you had a better opportunity at the start. Therefore, yes, you attained this, but that other person didn't have what you had at the beginning. So that's why we're so amazed. This is why we're so inspired by the other person. This is why you're jealous. And that could be your answer. So if that happens in a conversation, you're going to have to welcome it. You're going to have to take it on the chin. You can't change your past, your upbringing, your opportunity level. But what you can do is use your potential to attain at least the level that you thought you could. Now, if somebody actually does something and it makes you jealous initially and you work through all of this, the reality is you can accept the fact that they had less opportunity, less of a grounding, less of an upbringing, say, than you, and you attained the same level as them. But then maybe you might say, well, if I had that great upbringing, why shouldn't I go further? And yes, you should. And if you do, you have the potential to do that. So then attain it and then speak about how you got inspired by the jealousy. And that's how you flip it. The thing about it is you need to focus on yourself. At the end of the day, it's you that is feeling it. So you need to focus on your own growth. Now, why does this work? Because instead of obsessing and going, oh my God, I got to bring them down a peg or two, the person that you're jealous about. It's not that. It's like they're just holding up a mirror to yourself. So instead of obsessing over them and what others have or you like have not, the energy into improving yourself is more important. So what can you do from this point on? So set clear personal goals that excite you and motivate you so that you're on a new journey. This can be the point where you just start to skyrocket. You need, though, throughout all of this to build self-compassion and confidence. Low self-esteem often feels jealousy and fuels it as well. So loving yourself and building self-worth can weaken the power of jealousy holds over you. Accept where you are right now. Say to yourself, look, I coulda, shoulda, didn't. It's a big thing to admit to yourself, and it's very private. But if and when you get to that point, you then go, look, I have 2 legs, 2 arms, and I can get there. I can do it. It's a big hill, it's a big mountain. They've done it, so why can't I? So practice the self-compassion by being kind to yourself. And when you feel jealous, just say, I am worthy. I am enough. Give yourself these statements and affirmations towards giving yourself that grounding, stability to be able to go forward and achieve what you know you can. Because it takes the bigger person to celebrate the other person, to clap them and say, wow, well done. That's awesome. Because at the end of it all, if you're feeling great before you felt jealous or heard about the other person's story, that's built on this whole fabrication that you are great because you achieve certain things. But why then should you be jealous of the other person? Like, a lot of this is kind of illogical, but the reality is it's a human emotion. So there has to be a quick fix to this. So you can wake up in the morning and go through these steps very quickly, flip it so that you don't get bogged down by it and instead you can go forward. Now, if you're sharing it with other people, you've got to set boundaries in relationships with regard to this. If you admit that you are at fault and you, look, I feel jealous, I'm jealous of you. You're doing better than me. You're my partner, but you're earning more money and I'm supposed to be the man, whatever else it is, right? You got to make sure that throughout it all, you are able to just park that and not damage the relationship. Because if it does, then you're losing a relationship. Over what? Jealousy? Now, sometimes people can get bogged down on what they see all around them in social media. But let's remember, a lot of people put up a lot of junk, including me. I put it up in the past, but not lies. But unfortunately, people do put up lies. They put up, extensions of the truth. And this is why I stopped myself for a long while on social media. I didn't want to be inauthentic. Now, enough about me, otherwise somebody would be jealous. No, I'm only kidding who would be jealous of me. I'm just a normal bloke. But that's what we need to accept, that social media is full of normal blokes and blokettes. It's full of people that are just normal, trying to improve. The way they're going about it, a lot of people, it's not in a good vein, it's not in a good way. But if you have many, many people posting so much stuff and it's all, say, made up, or it's all just an extension of, well, essentially a lie, if you begin to perceive that as truth, you can then feel absolutely tiny. And this is no good for you. So limit your social media exposure. Get your head right and say, I have the ability, I haven't attained it, somebody else has, they've sparked it in me, let's go. At the end of it all, it is a human emotion, jealousy, so we need to be careful. So seek medical help if required to do so. And by the way, thank you for watching, and please do watch more.